Now, it is that time of the year again where some of us might already be snivelling and maybe suffering from a bit of congestion or a runny nose because the weather is going to change.
So today we have Boots pharmacist Paul O'Reilly in studio with us to talk us through flus, colds, vaccines and everything. Paul, great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
So a question that's thrown around the place all the time, what is a flu? Exactly what is it?
Yeah, so I suppose it's a common illness that we see a lot of people suffer from, particularly during the winter months, and it's caused by the influenza virus. Most people, it's quite self-limiting. It can, once you get it, it's quite severe. You can get it comes on quite quickly and quite suddenly. You can get blocked nose, sore throats, but mainly kind of aches and pains and fever would be kind of what would distinguish it and what is.
I think it's one of those things where you even have pain in your hair. You have pain in your nails, you have pain everywhere.
But it totally wipes you out. I suppose that's the difference,
it totally wipes you out, exactly. And I think if you get the flu, if you've had the flu before, you'll realise you're pretty much bedbound.
Do you know what I think is strange? How do you know you have the flu? Do you have to be tested? Do they have to take a swab to find out?
Typically they won't, because as I said, it is self-limiting and it will pass in time itself. So they won't take a swab or anything like that. But you'll know if you have it because, as you said, you'll just be bedbound and you'll be quite ill.
Did I ever have it? Because when you think of, you could have a really, really bad cold. I know you have to take a sinus infection, all that kind of stuff. That's very debilitating as well. But I suppose flu is, I suppose when we're talking about the vaccine, it is certain people in society that are more at risk. That's the worry, isn't it, really?
Yeah, and I suppose the difference there as well is with the cold, it might come on quite gradually with the blocked nose, but with the flu, it hits you quite quickly, quite suddenly, yeah.
And you're down.
But yeah, there's certain people, I suppose, that are more at risk, and that's typically anyone over the age of 65, anyone who has a chronic condition, so whether it be chronic heart disease, chronic liver disease, even diabetes.
They'll pick it up very fast.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I suppose they're more at risk and more susceptible to complications of the flu if they do actually get it. Other people are pregnant ladies, so a lot of pregnant ladies may not be aware, but it is important that they get vaccinated against the flu as well. But as well, if you're caring for someone, so you might even be caring for a family member or in a home, a nursing home, anything like that, you should definitely be getting vaccinated if you're a carer also.
I think we did a piece, was it last season, or we did a piece about nurses. There was a big argument, should they get vaccinated or not, because they're around people who would have the flu all the time.
Exactly, and even if you get it, it may not do a huge amount of harm to you or a huge amount of complications to you, but if you're caring for someone and if they contracted the flu, then it could be serious.
Because if you're fit and healthy, you can get over it. When it comes to pregnancy, can you get the flu jab at any stage of your pregnancy?
You can, and it is recommended. They're part of the at-risk category that they would actually get vaccinated, and it is safe.
So, going about the vaccination, you can go to your doctor or you can go to a chemist?
Yeah, so it's great. I mean, you can walk in, you can make an appointment in a pharmacy. Most pharmacies across the country are doing it, or you can walk in. So I suppose it's more convenient at weekends. If you're working during the week, you can pop in at the weekends or even late nights after work. It is convenient, yeah.
So, and there was a myth going around before as well. Can you get the flu after getting the vaccine?
Yeah, no, you can't. No, it's not a live virus, so you can't catch the flu. I suppose maybe sometimes some people might get some mild side effects, or they might get some symptoms that are similar to it, but they're generally be very mild, and they are just side effects of getting the vaccine.
If you are feeling a little bit sick or the snivels, or you have maybe potentially a chest infection, should you not get the flu vaccine at that time?
You're right, you need to hold off. So if you've got any kind of temperature at all or you're feeling unwell, then we would recommend that you wait until you're back feeling in full health. The reason for that is you're not going to get full immunity from the vaccine if you get it while you're feeling unwell.
Oh, really? So you don't get full... You know what's interesting as well? I suppose when you get the flu vaccine, people think, that's it, I will not get the flu. But there are only so many strains that they can put in the vaccine. And is it the fact that they look at what's prevalent at the time?
Exactly. So they predict it early out, and I suppose the World Health Organization will recommend then what they suggest should be in the vaccine for the season going ahead. But as you said, it doesn't cover every strain. And I suppose the influenza vaccine in particular mutates so much that actually there's all different strains that, you could still unfortunately get.
And if you're in the middle of the flu, is it pointless getting it then?
Yeah, you need to be in your full health.
The horse is bolted at that stage.
Yeah, now in saying that, there are other strains, so you could still pick it up later on in the season, so I would still recommend that you do get the vaccine.
Is it too late to get it, or is there a cut-off point? Do you think it's better to do it now?
No, I would recommend everyone to get it now. Get it early in the season. You have to get it every year anyway, so get it early in the season to protect you getting it. But we do quite often see a kind of surge after Christmas as well, people coming in then, getting it then. But, now's the time to get it.
I just think when the weather's kind of anyway strange at all, when it's being hot when it's supposed to be cold, and vice versa. You've lots of these flus and colds flying around the place, so it's probably no harm to get it anytime.
It's no harm to get it, and we're going to be indoors a lot more, hopefully not, but I mean the weather is changing and the evenings are darker, so we'll be indoors a lot more, so it's easier, I suppose, to pick it up from people as well.
Okay. Now, we talked about the flu, the different strains, and get vaccinated, and, as you said, it's only literally a few seconds and you're done.
Yeah.
and
it's
that's
completely safe, and you know there's nobody who can't get it unless you have like an allergy to the vaccine.
Okay, what about pneumonia?
Yeah, so the pneumococcal vaccine is another one that you can avail of in the pharmacy as well, and I suppose probably one that's not as commonly known.
Is that recent, pneumococcal?
It's recently been administered in the pharmacy setting, but no, you have been able to get it in the doctor's surgery for quite a number of years, but a lot of people still aren't aware of it.
Who should get it?
Yeah, so again, it'd be a similar category of people that I mentioned that are in the at-risk group for the flu vaccine. So anyone over the age of 65 is recommended to get the pneumococcal vaccine, and then anyone who has a chronic condition, like I mentioned, chronic heart disease, chronic respiratory disease, diabetes, those type of
What
people.
about people who are prone to chest infections? Because, I mean, pneumonia is within that area, isn't it, really?
It is, but the pneumococcal vaccine protects against a particular organism, Streptococcus pneumonia, and actually that particular organism can cause like meningitis, even septicemia, pneumonia. So chest infections may be caused by a different type of virus.
What about kids? Is there a vaccine for children?
Well, actually, that's interesting. One of the pneumococcal vaccines that's available, there's two types available. One of them is part now of the national immunisation for children.
Oh, is it?
Since 2008, it is. So it is available because it's one particular type of it is most common in under 2s.
Yeah, so they give that, I suppose
part
that's
of
part
the
of the
national
thing.
immunisation
Okay,
program.
Can you get both vaccines at the same time?
You can, but as in the flu and the pneumococcal, you can. There's absolutely no problem.
No
Would
problem.
you recommend that, Paul, or would you say
Yeah,
leave
for
a week
certain
between
people.
it?
So not everybody needs to get it, but absolutely no problem getting it at the same time. Yeah, no, that'd
because
be
you know the way
absolutely fine.
sometimes if you're travelling abroad and you get a lot of the jabs that you for overseas, you know, yellow fever and all that.
Feeling well
I mean, your arm is really like I was in bits the last time I did it because my arm was really sore because I got like 5 in one day type of thing. I did. I was like, Is there anything like that with the flu vaccine?
If you're prone to getting side effects from them, I just said the most common one is your arm may feel a little bit heavy.
See Maura coming into work
common.
tomorrow or the day after. What happened, you poor
I know, but
Petey?
seriously, it can. It can really affect some people badly like that.
Some people it can, and everyone is different, I suppose. But you can absolutely get it.
Maura.
It's no problem.
Anyway, your advice as a pharmacist, Paula, is get it.
Get vaccinated.
Really,
Definitely,
I suppose there'd be less of it around if more people were, and I suppose the
that's
debate
it.
will go on again this year amongst the health workers as well.
It is just once the weather is so weird.
I know.
And the climate's all over the place and everything. You have all these things floating around the place. Because if you get a flu during the summer, how hard is that to shake?
Is it the same though, Paula? Is that just a myth that it's if you get a flu, winter or summer? Is there any?
No, I mean it might be just a different strain.
I just find it harder to
the
shake.
months,
If I get anything during the summer, I find it hard to shake it.
In the summer?
Yeah. If I had a flu, maybe it could last for 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah, it happened to me
I
twice.
bet you have hay fever.
No, not hay fever. I couldn't pick the 50 quid off the ground more. That's the test. That's the test for
anyway,
me.
Paula, we knew we get the 50 quid at the ground, as we always do every year.
20.
Groundhog Day. Paula, thank you so much, as
you,
always,
Paula.
for that. And of course, everything we discussed today, you can pop into boots.ie, and there are pharmacists like Paula there, and they have the little room and bring you in all private and the whole lot, and get your vaccinations or whatever else you need. Of course, we're going to be discussing when you're back in 2 weeks, baby's health.
Baby health, exactly.
Excellent.